again. Come on. Oh, we're coming in later on. We're coming in later on because they know the Arrow 1000 will be going on.
Yeah. Smart.
And we are live.
Woo!
I
Only
think-
took 1 minute.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Hi, Venetia. You're first.
Good evening. Hello, fellows.
Girls. Hello,
How are you
Icebot. Oh,
tonight?
what? Oh, wait, no, I think we're under the game art. No, that's not correct.
Yeah, that is correct. Art is a game. Just
Oh,
like just chatting also is a game.
art isn't a game. It's well, a game could be
It's
art,
a
but
lifestyle. It's a bad choice. But we
your
do
words,
it anyway.
not your words, not mine. Not
Ah.
not touching that one.
Wasn't gonna send me messages like, "Don't say it. This is bad for her image."
Oh no,
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 she won't. No, she won't.
I think you're more.
I am that person. I am that person. I do that.
Yeah, I mean that's your thing.
Yeah, unless it's to do with art itself, then it's else.
Fair enough. Well, mostly it's not my problem, so
Mostly not.
mostly
Just
not.
partially.
No, only when it comes to the pictures and videos we post. Speaking of which, I haven't
And suddenly you get quite the challenge.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Doctor. Whoa, moving field. Whoa.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's
I
okay.
will. It's
Oh,
more
this-
stable this way.
And it's a better angle. Hi, Bram. Hi, Doctor. Did I already say hi, Doctor? Art is something else. Oh, God. Wait. Even though it's the wrong stream, there we. Wait. Yeah.
You're still in charge of the buttons.
Rim shot. Of course, I'm still in charge of the buttons.
Oh, that means that it's not the wrong stream to use them.
Yeah, no, but it's a different sound. It's a different setting thing. Hi, Kaneko.
Good evening.
And now I forgot what I was saying.
How are the kittens doing? I just threw one outside my room a few seconds ago.
Overhand or underhand toss?
Yeah, they do try to take over and they really like to wreck my keyboard. But as soon as I threw her out, she knew what I was doing. So she ran back in and now she's not entirely inside and not entirely outside. She's in the space in between. And I'm like, yeah, good enough. It'll have to do. What do you mean don't throw the kitten? It's practice. They always land on their feet. They fly, actually, by their own choice.
Welcome to cats. Sorry, flying cats and coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be one of those.
You know, you'd think like, oh, the poor kittens, but you know, if you like blank versus kittens, probably kittens win.
Yeah.
They are sturdier.
They are two wrecking balls.
Yeah.
They're cute though,
Like,
but they're wrecking balls.
Yeah. You think they're so vulnerable and innocent, and like, nope. Murderers.
That's only so you throw them again.
Yeah, they actually like it.
Oh, Kaneko has
Oh, yes.
has a
your
fox
book
has been
arrived.
Foxtobered 3.
We've been sending out some books, and we're still sending out a bunch of them.
Yeah, people
So,
are.
How did you like your book and the signing? Steinfels got it too. Good. Nice. Yes, Phoenicia, I actually sent you a couple of messages about that, but I don't know how to best reach you because you seem to have missed them.
Where's my money, Felicia?
Oh, no, that's what Jay says. You know what he's like. That's not me. It's not my voice.
Hi, Calibraco.
Yes, you did. So we're working on those. As soon as they're sent out, you get the track and trace link. We have this entire stack of them right on my desk over here. That is so nice that you like the name that I called you by accident, because I remembered that like, okay, I've got to write Cyril's name correctly because it is really important. We had talked about it on the stream just when I designed your signing, and then I was concentrating so much on getting it right that I got it wrong. And I didn't notice, and I showed Els like, look! And Els is like, no, that's not good. I'm like, no, what do I do? I ruined the book. Then we had to, and then Els had to comfort me a bit, and like, no, this is actually a really cat-like thing to do. Yeah, we can still fix this, and we're just going. This is the thing about signing. It's authentic, and it's you make something of it. Use it as an opportunity to make this extra special. But like, how can we make this extra special? It actually took a bit of time to get me from I fucked up to like yeah extra creative. We're gonna do that. But
See,
once it did, you got yourself an extra special version.
extra creative. Those get me too each time. Like, I want to do something nice for the stream, and then yeah, have to spend a lot of time for stuff like that.
Yeah, extra creative time.
Yeah, extra creative time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just look at the reaction.
Yeah, I'm glad that but we all we try to make them personal to everyone. So I do hope that everybody notices that personal touch.
With the limited editions, of course.
Yeah.
That's an important detail.
Some of you we really had to stalk. Like, what did you do recently? Or what did we talk about recently? We cannot like what did we sign in previous years? Can't do the same thing twice.
As usual, you made it into a little bit of an art. Well, not a little bit, I've seen the stack. Oh god, another of those. And gone.
What is gone?
No, there was another of those the bot thingies again.
Alright. Yeah, be gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of extra work. I mean, I think you put on at least a solid extra month of work, and yeah, the result is great.
Yeah, even though it took a bit longer than expected, or quite a bit.
Yeah, well, that's
We wanted to be less ambitious, but we couldn't help it, I guess.
I think this is one of the more ambitious signings ever I've seen.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
actually set out to make it less ambitious, and we only get worse.
everybody gets a custom art and a custom thank you and everything. Usually when people sign, they just sign.
Put their name.
Thank you.
Or to my friend, thank you for buying. Greetings, the creator. Yeah. Like, sometimes it's like to my dear friend and then your name, that's personal.
We're gonna make a stamp for next year, and not even
stamp.
Yeah, we're not even going to put in a blank where the name should be. Just cross it out and scribble the name over it. No. No,
Yeah.
and that's why
Well,
I'm not signing
that
this,
would be
people.
ambitious. That would be ambitious from your side because you've been making that.
Oh no, you can order those. It's okay.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah,
Oh, terrible.
failing upwards. Yes, definitely.
All right, Mermaid Phoenicia, thank you for your whisper. We'll send it to your email. And let's see, Phil says Confessions of a Space Cat. Yeah. Yeah, I was unintentionally evil and then I had to make it into awesomeness. But it seems to have worked because look at Koneko, even sending hearts.
Don't worry, Frost. I'm not involved in the signings whatsoever.
No. Don't put Jay in charge. We're not planning to. No. Definitely not. Yeah. You know, Jay, you'd miss out like signings we made for Garius. You know, the world is better because that signing happened.
Hmm. I know, so that's why I said don't worry. I mean, I'm not planning to do something with the
Ooh,
signings whatsoever. What what
there's a new follower
what where?
in the screen.
I didn't
I don't
s-
see it in the stream chat, but
I
I saw
don't
it in
see
the
it. I
stream.
don't see it in the chat. What?
What do you mean?
Oh no, Frank. Oh, yeah. I just saw it. Let's at least make the sound.
Make the sound.
Fragilitis. That I know that name from my stream yesterday as well. So there must be someone I know.
Ooh, nice. Welcome. Welcome to our stream.
Welcome to our stream. Yay, 5 more followers to go. Yay. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I need to edit the stream info. It's all about pride art and stuff. So no.
Yeah, that has to change. Oopsie. Oopsie the floopsie.
Uh,
So, yeah. I'm glad that the first batch of people have received their books and that you all love them. And yeah, who knows? Else may contact some of you about something with your art and the stream. But we'll leave that a surprise for now. And
I think it's time for a story.
besides that, yeah, we still had a bunch of short stories to go by Beatrix Potter, and we've had, the first 5 stories, and we have a bunch more to go. I think it's a tale of Jeremy Fisher.
Well, hopefully there will be a bit of singing Renancy in here as well.
No,
Because that was
I
gold.
hope not. It's terrible.
I could say something evil like, oh, well, you could always tip for Renancy. No, I'm not going to say that. But yeah, as usual, Renancy will be reading her story with a little bit of a break in between where I will update her of the most important things that happened in the chat. And as per usual, I will shut the heck up
Up.
while
All right.
Renancy does her thing. So everybody enjoy Renancy reading the Tales of Beatrix Potter.
Yes.
No karaoke stream for me.
I actually lost all of the chat now, so I can't even see what happens. But
No, just
whoever.
Girius asked about the
Garius.
karaoke stream.
All right, Garius, well played. We're starting with The Tale of Mr. Jeremy Fisher by, of course, Beatrix Potter. By the way, copyrighted in 1906. That's a while. It's over 100 years old. Once upon a time, there was a frog called Mr. Jeremy Fisher. He lived in a little damp house amongst the buttercups at the edge of a pond. The water was all slippy sloppy in the larder and in the back passage. But Mr. Jeremy liked getting his feet wet. Nobody ever scolded him, and he never caught a cold. He was quite pleased when he looked out and saw large drops of rain splashing in the pond. "I will get some worms and go fishing and catch a dish of minnows for my dinner," said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. "If I can catch more than 5 fish, I will invite my friends Mr. Alderman Ptolemy Tortoise and Sir Isaac Newton." The alderman, however, eats salad. I'd almost say pity. Mr. Jeremy put on a mackintosh and a pair of shiny goloshes. He took his rod and a basket and set off with enormous hops to the place where he kept his boat. The boat was round and green and very like the other lily leaves. It was tied to a water plant in the middle of the pond. Mr. Jeremy took a reed pole and took the boat out into open water. "I know a good place for minnows," said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. Mr. Jeremy stuck his pole into the mud and fastened the boat to it. Then he settled himself cross-legged and arranged his fishing tackle. He had the dearest little red float. His rod was a tough stalk of grass. His line was a fine long white horsehair, and he tied a little ringing worm at the end. The rain trickled down his back, and for nearly an hour he stared at the float. "This is getting tiresome. I think I should like some lunch," said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. He punted back again among the water plants and took some lunch out of his basket. "I will eat a butterfly sandwich and wait till the shower is over," said Mr. Jeremy Fisher.
You're muted at the moment. Your voice doesn't work right now, Rincy. No, her microphone cut out. I mean, it isn't lighting up Discord at the moment, so please hold people while we resolve our technical difficulties. To be fair, I figured she was taking a little bit of a break, so I was like, huh? Already? No, it can't be. I can see you talk, we can see you talk, but we cannot hear you or see any microphone activity. And this is a wireless, microphone, so the cat can't even eat the cable. I hear something. Can you talk a bit more? I heard just a bit and then it dropped out again. Is it okay to... Oh, something switched on or off. The Wi-Fi cable. I know that I think the Wi-Fi equipment is all up high, so even the cats can't get to it. Well, at least not easy. Nope, not better. Funny part is she can hear me but not talk back, so. uh, this is a rare opportunity.
Wow.
Oh, I heard something.
Really, you do?
Yeah, you're back.
I'm back. All right.
Just before
That
just before I wanted to take advantage of my sudden.
cat planet would never allow.
No, of course not. I have to admit that the cable
You're
does
just
make.
lucky that I am not wearing my ears right now, or I would not even have lost connection.
Oh, maybe you should. Anyway. Well, again, people, this is proof that we're doing this live.
Yeah. Now my hair is gonna look weird for the
Well,
rest of the
it looked
stream.
great when it fell just behind it as well. But this looks
I'm
good as
gonna
well.
keep it like this. Yeah. All right. So, what did you hear last? Did you hear a great big water beetle?
I don't think so. Maybe
So
rewind a bit just to be sure. Let's see
over
the
here,
rain.
the rain trickled down his back.
No, I think a bit more back.
Wow, that took a while then.
Just go for the reed ball.
All right. Mr. Jeremy took a reed pole and pushed the boat out into open water. I know a good place for minnows, said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. Mr. Jeremy stuck his pole into the mud and fastened the boat to it. Then he settled himself cross-legged and arranged his fishing tackle. He had the dearest little red float. His rod was a tough stalk of grass. His line was a fine, long, white horsehair, and he tied a little wriggling worm at the end. The rain trickled down his back, and for nearly an hour he stared at the float. This is getting tiresome. I think I should like some lunch, said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. He punted back again amongst the water plants and took some lunch out of his basket. I will eat a butterfly sandwich and wait till the shower is over, said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. A great big water beetle came up underneath the lily leaf and tweaked at the toe of one of his goloshes. Mr. Jeremy crossed his leg up shorter, out of reach, and went on eating his sandwich. Once or twice, something moved about with a rustle and a splash amongst the rushes at the side of the pond. I trust that is not a rat, said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. I think I had better get away from here. Mr. Jeremy shoved the boat out again a little way and dropped in the bait. There was a bite almost directly. The float gave a tremendous bobbit. A minnow! A minnow! I have caught him by the nose! Cried Mr. Jeremy Fisher, jerking up his rod. But what a horrible surprise! Instead of a smooth, fat minnow, Mr. Jeremy landed little Jack Sharp the stickleback, covered with spines. The stickleback floundered about the boat, prickling and snapping until he was quite out of breath. Then he jumped back into the water. And a shoal of other little fishes put their heads out and laughed at Mr. Jeremy Fisher. And while Mr. Jeremy sat disconsolately on the edge of his boat, sucking his sore fingers and peering down into the water, a much worse thing happened. A really frightful thing it would have been if Mr. Jeremy had not been wearing a Macintosh. a great, big, enormous trout came up, flop, with a splash, and it seized Mr. Jeremy with a snap. Oh, oh, oh! And then it turned and dived down to the bottom of the pond. But the trout was so displeased with the taste of the Macintosh that in less than half a minute it spat him out again, and the only thing it swallowed was Mr. Jeremy's galoshes. Mr. Jeremy bounded up to the surface of the water like a cork and the bubbles out of a soda water bottle, and he swam with all his might to the edge of the pond. He scrambled out on the first bank he came to, and he hopped some across the meadow with his Macintosh all in tatters. "What a mercy! That was not a pike," said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. "I have lost my rod and basket, but it does not matter, for I am sure I should never have dared to go fishing again." He put some stickling plaster on his fingers, and his friends both came to dinner. He could not offer them fish, but he had something else in his larder. Sir Isaac Newton wore his black and gold waistcoat, and Mr. Alderman Ptolemy Tortoise brought a salad with him in a string bag. And instead of a nice dish of minnows, they had a roasted grasshopper with ladybird sauce, which frogs consider a beautiful treat. But I think it must have been nasty. The end. And this is our first story of tonight.
Please let the record state that the story started about food.
The story started about food. Yes. Who was getting the blame? Chet or me or what
Story.
happened? The story, yes.
Miss or
Well,
Miss or Mrs. Potter.
yeah, they are fully to blame.
Avery.
I agree. Avery, welcome.
And Pharaoh said, I think Steven Spielberg read this book. And he was doing a
Yeah.
Jaws reference and I got it. Woo!
Well, probably he read the book. It's old enough. Easily. It was a classic in his time.
And then you thought like, if I only replace this with a shark. And so a blockbuster happened. You know what the fun thing is? Each time I see Doctor react to Furry when he comes in the chat, I can almost imagine them in a sun-filled meadow, walking and running towards each other in slow-mo with that sappy romantic soundtrack thing they always do. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And it's good to see.
That's a good sign.
It is. So that was a short story, this one, compared to the others.
No. The first story about Peter Rabbit was 15 minutes, and now we're a half an hour in.
Yeah, okay, true. Yeah, but we also had a bit of technical difficulties as well. So
Yeah, and
good
we
story.
had our intro. Yeah. So let's see. I think we're going to town with Johnny the Mouse. Why are mice always a very thankful subject of stories? There's lots of stories about mice characters.
Fievel,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the rat. Are we talking about mice or rats?
I was talking specifically about mice, but rats. Also, there's a lot of stories about them.
Well, it's easy because of their nature. I think it's easy to how do you call it? Put some emotion to it and everything like that. And yeah, of course. I mean, the biggest franchisor in the world, of the biggest name in the entertainment world, is
It's a
mouse-based.
mouse. Yeah, even though lots of people fear mice, and they have a very bad reputation,
Mhm.
somehow they're still thankful characters.
Mhm.
Much less than, for example, rabbits, even though there are rabbit characters. But
Yeah, but I think that mice easily outnumber.
yeah, yeah.
I don't.
Even dogs and cats, they rival with them pretty well. Yeah,
Oh wow!
parenting
Now
stuff.
we're now all the other stories are. People are talking about Watership Down, Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So
Um, what superhero actually, Marvel or DC, is a mouse?
I would say yeah. It's too bad you said Marvel or DC. Otherwise, I would have said Mighty Mouse.
Hmm. And you have the
Mouse.
biker mice from Mars, also superheroes. But
Yeah.
I was thinking in superhero terms of DC and Marvel
I
because usually they have almost everything.
I actually don't know any of the super. I can't think of any of the mouse-based superheroes in Marvel or DC without resorting to my Google Fu.
Yeah, it can't be that this is uh, unexplored territory, but it is interesting.
Okay, well, no, yeah, Red Catcher. It's,
Hmm.
no, well, you do the story.
I
I'll do some looking up.
Yeah, and tell the chat. The tale
Yep.
of Johnny Town Mouse. Johnny Town Mouse was born in a cupboard. Timmy Willie was born in a garden. Timmy Willie was a little country mouse who went to town by mistake in a hamper. The gardener sent vegetables to town once a week by carrier. He packed them in a big hamper. The gardener left the hamper by the garden gate so that the carrier could pick it up when he passed. Timmy Willie crept in through a hole in the wickerwork, and after eating some peas, Timmy Willie fell fast asleep. He awoke in a fright while the hamper was being lifted into the carrier's cart. Then there was a jolting and a clattering of horse feet. Other packages were thrown in for miles and miles. Jolt, 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 and Timmy Willie trembled among the jumbled up vegetables. At last, the cart stopped at a house where the hamper was taken out, carried in, and set down. The cook gave the carrier sixpence. The back door banged, and the cart rambled away. But there was no quiet. There seemed to be hundreds of carts passing. Dogs barked, boys whistled in the street. The cook laughed. The parlor maid ran up and downstairs, and the canary sang like a steam engine. Timmy Willie, who had lived all his life in a garden, was almost frightened to death.
Whoa,
Woo! We
we're
have
getting
a
raided.
raid! And it's a big one. Welcome.
Welcome, Raiders.
And thank you for the follows as
Woo!
well. Woo! How was your stream?
And suddenly, the quiet storytelling
Cat.
telling time is. Oh, more followers! Yay!
Nice. Hello, Densatsu 7 and Levi Cerise. And let's see, I thought I saw another follower.
And the third one.
Yeah! Welcome new followers as well.
Welcome! Thank you,
Hello, Raiders.
Densetsu! So kind!
Yes. Oh, we're almost reaching our goal, our follower goal.
Yeah,
This is
we don't
148 of 150.
we don't
Oh,
need to, oh, and no, not another one, right? No.
yeah, and Paya Piposhai,
Yeah,
welcome.
fine. Mm,
Welcome to our stream and thank you for following.
yes, thank you for following. Feels weird, bit weird to be a disembodied voice right now to do the thinking.
Yeah, well, they only see your fear by hearing it.
Oh, that's okay. They don't see me sweat right now.
No. Oh. So, what did you do during your stream? Was it fun?
I hope so.
Didn't
I
think I
so.
wouldn't rate you back eventually, did you? Oh.
I think
So
if
we can. So that means we can't rate you after this stream.
no,
Oh, come on.
it's tactics.
It's tactics, yeah, and especially tactics to come in just before reaching a goal. Then you make an impact of making someone really sweat in this case.
People don't need to make an impact, really.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to explain a little bit about this goal and why it's making Jay sweat. We have goals, and then if we achieve them, then the chat gets to decide what we have to do in return. So it can be a bit of a tease, and that means that Jay, who you can't see right now, but usually you can in other streams, he's a floating voice today, but at 150 followers, he is going to get himself a stuffed coyote tail and make a little video to introduce it.
And I just made the last one for the previous goal,
Yeah.
25.
Well, it seems like you can get to work now.
Consider playing kind. I'll put it on the list and Setsu. That sounds like a good idea because we're looking into actually doing some board game like things.
Oh.
So thank you for the tip. I can't wait to see the tail. Well, you'll have to wait for a bit. I mean, after
Yeah, but we're creeping closer.
yeah, well, after the goal is done, I need to film it, and I know this is going to be a bigger project. So.
Mm. Oh, it's extremely wholesome. Oh, that's
no.
nice.
Should
but,
no, doesn't work for the chat. No, sorry.
But it but you don't. It's not like a game where you can die, right? So it's not a banana stream kind of game.
Oh well, in that case, sounds good. Ah.
All right. We have for banana streams we have games where you die a lot in them, because every time Jay dies, he has to eat something he doesn't like, which are bananas.
Detest, hate, despise.
And we of course love to cheer him on. So that's actually going to be next Wednesday again. And so every Wednesday, Jay and I take turns. One time there is a story stream. That is tonight. I'm actually reading Beatrix Potter. And maybe you know Peter Rabbit. she actually had more stories about other animals, and we're reading those. And in the other stream on Wednesdays, Jay plays games and tries not to lose, and everybody in chat gets to say make requests to make it harder for him so that he eventually does lose. And it's a lot of fun to tease him.
Which seems to
Yeah.
be the theme of the stream most times.
Yeah, actually, we're doing the stream just so we can tease Jay.
Well,
It's all a setup.
well, people do think it's fun, so be sure to drop by next week when we do probably another Cyberpunk stream, because I tend to die a lot there.
That means everybody in stream loved it and wants you to do it again. And on Sundays there is an art stream, and that's when Else, who has a day off, actually does some drawing. And if you look into the works of Howling Riot, then you can see what she makes. And also to everybody in our stream, we've rated Densetsu a while ago, and we actually felt like returning. But if you want to be following them before that time, you must really go and have a look at their profile and follow, because I recommend the stream. It's a lot of fun.
We will be getting our revenge back, Densetsu.
We
next time.
will. I'm not sure if he's actually scared or just laughing his ass off.
Probably laughing. I would.
No, probably super scared of you, Jay.
I'm the person I'm the least scary one on this stream.
They don't know, they just hear.
Oh yeah, true.
But they see me, so I'm frightening, of course. And they hear you, so they must think, you must be terrible.
Anyway, right, story time, right?
Story time. All right. A story about mice. Timmy Willie, who had lived all his life in a garden, was almost frightened to death. Presently, the cook opened the hamper and began to unpack the vegetables. Out sprang the terrified Timmy Willie. Up jumped the cook on a chair, exclaiming, A mouse! Call the cat! Fetch me the poker, Sarah! Timmy Willie did not wait for a Sarah with the poker. He rushed along the skirting board till he came to a little hole, and in he popped. He dropped half a foot and crashed into the middle of a mouse dinner party, breaking 3 glasses. Who in the world is this? Inquired Johnny Town Mouse. But after the first exclamation of surprise, he instantly recovered his manners. With the utmost politeness, he introduced Timmy Willie to 9 other mice, all with long tails and white neckties. Timmy Willie's own tail was insignificant. Johnny Town Mouse and his friends noticed it, and they were too well bred to make personal remarks. Only one of them asked Timmy Willie if he had ever been in a trap. The dinner was of 8 courses, not much of anything, but truly elegant. All the dishes were unknown to Timmy Willie, who would have been a little afraid of tasting them. Only he was very hungry and very anxious to behave with company manners. The continual noise upstairs made him so nervous that he dropped a plate. Never mind, they don't belong to us, said Johnny. Why don't those youngsters come back with the dessert? It should be explained that 2 young mice, who were waiting on the others, went skirmishing upstairs to the kitchen between courses. Several times they had come tumbling in, squeaking and laughing. Timmy Willie learned with horror that they were being chased by the cat. His appetite failed, and he felt faint. "Try some jelly?" said Johnny Town Mouse. "No? Would you rather go to bed? I will show you a most comfortable sofa pillow." The sofa pillow had a hole in it. Johnny Town Mouse quite honestly recommended it as the best bed, kept exclusively for visitors. But the sofa smelled of cat. Timmy Willie preferred to spend a miserable night under the fender. It was just the same next day. An excellent breakfast was provided for mice accustomed to eat bacon. But Timmy Willie had been reared on roots and salad. Johnny Town Mouse and his friends racketed under the floors and came boldly out of all over the house in the evening. One particularly loud crash had been caused by Sarah tumbling downstairs with the tea tray. There were crumbs and sugar and smears of jam to be collected, in spite of the cat. Timmy Willie longed to be at home, in his peaceful nest in a sunny bank. The food disagreed with him. The noise prevented him from sleeping. In a few days, he grew so thin that Johnny Town Mouse noticed it and questioned him. He listened to Timmy Willie's story and inquired about the garden. "It sounds like a rather dull place. What do you do when it rains?" "When it rains, I sit in my little sandy burrow and shell corn and seeds from my autumn store. I peep out at the throstles and blackbirds on the lawn and my friend Cock Robin. And when the sun comes out again, you should see my garden and the flowers, roses and pinks and pansies. No noise except the birds and bees and the lambs in the meadows." "There goes that cat again!" exclaimed Johnny Town Mouse. When they had taken refuge in the coal cellar, he resumed the conversation. "I confess I am a little disappointed. We have endeavored to entertain you, Timothy William." "Oh, yes, yes, you have been most kind, but I do feel so ill," said Timmy Willie. "It may be that your teeth and digestions are unaccustomed to our food. Perhaps it might be wiser for you to return in the hamper." "Oh, oh!" cried Timmy Willie. "Why, of course, for the matter of that, we could have sent you back last week," said Johnny rather huffily. "Did you not know that the hamper goes back empty on Saturdays?" So Timothy Willie said goodbye to his new friends and hid in the hamper with a crumb of cake and a withered cabbage leaf. And after much jolting, he was set down safely in his own garden. Sometimes on Saturdays, he went to look at the hamper lying by the gate, but he knew better than to get in again. And nobody got out, though Johnny Town Mouse had half promised a visit. The winter passed. The sun came out again. Timmy Willie sat by his burrow, warming his little fur coat and sniffing the smell of violets and spring grass. He had nearly forgotten his visit to town. When up the sandy path, all spick and span with a brown leather bag, came Johnny Town Mouse. Timmy Willie received him with open arms. You have come at the best time of all the year. We have herb pudding and sit in the sun. It's a little damp, said Johnny Town Mouse, who was carrying his tail under his arm, out of the mud. What is that fearful noise? He started violently. That, said Timmy Willie, that is only a cow. I will beg a little milk. They are quite harmless, unless they happen to lie down upon you. How are all of your friends? Johnny's account was rather middling. He explained why he was paying his visit so early in the season. The family had gone to the seaside for Easter. The cook was doing spring cleaning, on board wages, with particular instructions to clear out the mice. There were 4 kittens, and the cat had liked the canary. They say we did it, but I know better, said Johnny Town Mouse. Whatever is that fearful racket? That is only the lawnmower. I will fetch some of the grass clippings presently to make your bed. I am sure you had better settle in the country, Johnny. We shall see by Tuesday week. The hamper is stopped while they are at the seaside. I am sure you will never want to live in town again, said Timmy Willie. But he did. He went back in the very next hamper of vegetables. He said it was too quiet. One place suits one person. Another place suits another person. For my part, I prefer to live in the country, like Timmy Willie. The end.
Woohoo!
Woohoo, yeah!
Bramstein says, not liked. Killed.
What?
And there were a bit of synchronization problems for Veros and Phoenicia. So maybe it was a general thing, but it stabilized after a bit.
Well, at least I hope you were able to hear. That's the most important thing. And if the synchronization was between the audio and the video, yeah, I think just follow the audio first.
Bramstein just explained, the cat killed the canary and maybe liked the canary after that.
Yes, I bet he liked it very well.
Yeah, I like my meals as well. So these these stories really have a certain rhythm to it.
Yeah, well, that's actually a very important thing about children's stories. Rhythms are one of the things that actually help children to listen to them.
Hi, Sindakiri. He says, late to the party, everyone. Sorry for that, but hey, just came to see how much I've managed to miss.
Oh, well, welcome.
You still have about 35 minutes-ish.
Yeah, and you're very welcome at the party. We are at the start of our 3rd story of tonight, so you have excellent timing.
Yep. And we have just been raided, so
Yes! So, are the raiders still enjoying themselves?
we're waiting for the raiders to answer.
Waiting for the raiders have fallen asleep. No! Don't do it! Yeah.
Oh, Sindikiri has been using the reading of other podcasts while working.
Mm.
And yes, we're
Alright.
getting close to the goal, but we're glossing over that. So, next story.
Alright, I'll save you for now. The Tale of Jemima Puddle Duck by Beatrix Potter, author of The Tale of Peter Rabbit. And it's all from 1906. What a funny sight it is to see a brood of ducklings with a hen. Listen to the story of Jemima Puddle Duck, who was annoyed because the farmer's wife would not let her hatch her own eggs. Her sister-in-law, Mr. Rebecca Puddle Duck, was perfectly willing to leave the hatchling to someone else. Hatching. I have not the patience to sit on a nest for 28 days. And no more have you, Jemima. You would let them go cold. You know you would. I wish to hatch my own eggs. I will hatch them all by myself, quacked Jemima Puddle Duck. She tried to hide her eggs, but they were always found and carried off. Jemima Puddle Duck became quite desperate. She determined to make a nest right away from the farm. She set off on a fine spring afternoon along the cart road that leads over the hill. She was wearing a shawl and a poke bonnet. When she reached the top of the hill, she saw a wood in the distance. She thought that it looked a safe, quiet spot. Jemima Puddle Duck was not much in the habit of flying. She ran downhill a few yards flapping her shawl, and then she jumped off into the air. She flew beautifully when she had got a good start. She skimmed along over the treetops until she saw an open place in the middle of the wood, where the trees and brushwood had been cleared. Jemima alighted rather heavily, and began to waddle about in search of a convenient dry nesting place. She rather fancied a tree stump among some tall foxgloves. But, seated upon the stump, she was startled to find an elegantly dressed gentleman reading a newspaper. He had black prick ears and sandy-colored whiskers. "Walk," said Jemima Puddle Duck, with her head and her bonnet on one side. "Walk." The gentleman raised his eyes above his newspaper and looked curiously at Jemima. "Madam, have you lost your way?" said he. He had a long, bushy tail, which he was sitting upon, as the stump was somewhat damp. Jemima thought him mighty civil and handsome. She explained that she had not lost her way, but that she was trying to find a convenient, dry nesting place. "Ah, is that so?" "Indeed," said the gentleman with sandy whiskers, looking curiously at Jemima. He folded up the newspaper and put it in his coat-tail pocket. Jemima complained of the superfluous hen. Indeed, how interesting. I wish I could meet with that fowl. I would teach it to mind its own business. But as to a nest, there is no difficulty. I have a sackful of feathers in my woodshed. No, my dear madam, you will be in nobody's way. You may sit there as long as you like, said the bushy, long-tailed gentleman. He led the way to a very retired, dismal-looking house among the foxgloves. It was built of faggots and turf, and there were 2 broken pails, one on top of another, by the way of a chimney. This is my summer residence. You would not find my winter house, so convenient, said the hospital gentleman. There was a tumble-down shed at the back of the house, made of old soap boxes. The gentleman opened the door and showed Jemima in. The shed was almost quite full of feathers. It was almost suffocating, but it was comfortable and very soft. Jemima Puddle Duck was rather surprised to find such a vast quantity of feathers, but it was very comfortable, and she made a nest without any trouble at all. When she came out, the sandy-whiskered gentleman was sitting on a log, reading the newspaper. At least he had it spread out, but he was looking over the top of it. He was so polite that it seemed almost sorry to let Jemima go home for the night, that he seemed. He promised to take great care of her nest until she came back again the next day. He said he loved eggs and ducklings. He should be so proud to see a fine nestful in his woodshed. So Jemima Puddle Duck came every afternoon. She laid 9 eggs in the nest. They were greeny white and very large. The foxy gentleman admired them immensely. He used to turn them over and count them when Jemima was not there. At last Jemima told him that she intended to begin to sit next day. And I will bring a bag of corn with me, so that I need never leave my nest until the eggs are hatched. They might catch cold, said the conscientious Jemima. Madam, I beg you not to trouble yourself with the bag. I will provide oats. But before you commence your tedious sitting, I intend to give you a treat. Let us have a dinner party all to ourselves. May I ask you to bring up some herbs from the farm garden to make a savory omelette, sage and thyme, and mint and 2 onions, and some parsley. I will provide lard for the stuff, lard for the omelette, said the hospital gentleman with sandy whiskers. Jemima Puddle Duck was a simpleton. Not even the mention of sage and onions made her suspicious. She went round the farm garden, nibbling off snippets of all the different sorts of herbs that are used for stuffing roast duck. And she waddled into the kitchen and got 2 onions out of a basket. The collie dog, Cap, met her coming out. "What are you doing with those onions? Where do you go every afternoon by yourself, Jemima Puddle Duck?" Jemima was rather in awe of the collie, and she told him the whole story. The collie listened, and with his wise head on one shoulder, he grinned when she described the polite gentleman with sandy whiskers. He asked several questions about the wood and about the exact position of the house and the shed. Then he went out and trotted down the village. He went to look for 2 foxhound puppies who were out at a walk with the butcher. Jemima Puddle Duck went up the cart road for the last time on a sunny afternoon. She was rather burdened with bunches of her herbs and 2 onions in a bag. She flew over the wood and alighted opposite the house of the bushy, long-tailed gentleman. He was sitting on a log. He sniffed the air and kept glancing uneasily round the wood. When Jemima alighted, he quite jumped. "Come into the house as soon as you have looked at your eggs. Give me the herbs for the omelette. Be sharp." He was rather abrupt. Jemima Puddle Duck had never heard him speak like that. She felt surprised and uncomfortable. While she was inside, she heard pattering feet round the back of the shed. Someone with a black nose sniffed at the bottom of the door and then locked it. Jemima became much alarmed. A moment afterwards, there were most awful noises. Barking, baying, growls and howls, squealing and groans. And nothing more was ever seen of that foxy, whiskered gentleman. Presently, Cap opened the door of the shed and let out Jemima Puddle Duck. Unfortunately, the puppies rushed in and gobbled up all the eggs before he could stop them. He had a bite on his ear, and both of the puppies were limping. Jemima Puddle Duck was escorted home in tears on account of those eggs. She laid some more in June, and she was permitted to keep them herself, but only 4 of them hatched. Jemima Puddle Duck said that it was because of her nerves, but she had always been a bad sitter. Happy ending.
Wow. Okay, that was a twist all of a sudden.
Yeah, making an omelette. Be like, yeah, what do you make that from? I don't know.
Uh, no, but I'm no, not that twist. The dog's actually getting in there and eating the eggs. Like, okay. Wow. Did not
Yeah,
expect that.
no, the good guys ruined it. Like, at least the fox had been nice.
He was a bit too slow.
Yeah. And also, he was never seen again. Like, yeah, it doesn't say they chased him off, but let's just imagine that that's what
He
happened.
went to the farm.
Yeah. I fear he did. Well, that was a short story. Maybe we do have time for a little more. Oh, the Flopsy bunnies. Is that a long story or a short one? I think we can probably do this. All right. So it's still very enjoyable. Good.
I think everyone is doing okay.
Everybody happy.
Whoa! Oh,
Party, party. Yeah.
anyone clip that?
All right. Truly an early 20th century children's book. Yeah. Very, very, very classic. One more for tonight. The last one. The Tale of the Flopsy Bunnies. It is said that the effect of eating too much lettuce is soporific. I have never felt sleepy after eating lettuces, but then I am not a rabbit. They certainly had a very soporific effect upon the Flopsy bunnies. When Benjamin Bunny grew up, he married his cousin Flopsy. They had a large family, and they were very improvident and cheerful. I do not remember the separate names of their children. They were generally called the Flopsy Bunnies. As there was not always quite enough to eat, Benjamin used to borrow cabbages from Flopsy's brother, Peter Rabbit, who kept a nursery garden. Sometimes Peter Rabbit had no cabbages to spare. When this happened, the Flopsy bunnies went across the field to a rubbish heap in the ditch outside Mr. McGregor's garden. Mr. McGregor's rubbish heap was a mixture. There were jam pots and paper bags, and mountains of chopped grass from the mowing machine, which always tasted oily, and some rotten vegetable marrows, and an old boat or two. One day, oh joy! There were a quantity of overgrown lettuces, which had shot into flower. The Flopsy bunnies simply stuffed the lettuces. By degrees, one after another, they were overcome with slumber and lay down in the mown grass. Benjamin was not so much overcome as his children. Before going to sleep, he was sufficiently wide awake to put a paper bag over his head to keep off the flies. The little Flopsy bunnies slept delightfully in the warm sun. From the lawn beyond the garden came the distant clackety sound of a mowing machine. The blue bottles buzzed about the wall, and a little old mouse picked over the rubbish among the jam pots. I can tell you her name. She was called Thomasina Tittlemouse, a wood mouse with a long tail. She rustled across the paper bag and awakened Benjamin Bunny. The mouse apologized profusely and said that she knew Peter Rabbit. While she and Benjamin were talking, close under the wall, where they heard a heavy tread above their heads, and suddenly Mr. McGregor emptied out a sack full of lawn mowings right upon the top of the sleeping Flopsy bunnies. Benjamin shrank down under his paper bag. The mouse hid in a jam pot. The little rabbits smiled sweetly in their sleep, under the shower of grass. They did not awake, because the lettuces had been so soporific. They dreamt that their mother Flopsy was tucking them up in a hay bed. Mr. McGregor looked down after emptying his sack. He saw some funny little brown tips of ears sticking up through the lawn mowings. He stared at them for some time. Presently a fly settled on one of them, and it moved. Mr. McGregor climbed down onto the rubbish heap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little rabbits, said he as he dropped them into his sack. The Flopsy Bunnies dreamt that their mother was turning them over in bed. They stirred a little in their sleep, but still they did not wake up. Mr. McGregor tied up the sack and left it on the wall. He went to put away the mowing machine. While he was gone, Mrs. Flopsy Bunny, who had remained at home, came across the field. She looked suspiciously at the sack and wondered where everybody was. Then the mouse came out of her jam pot, and Benjamin took the paper bag off his head, and they told the doleful tale. Benjamin and Flopsy were in despair. They could not undo the string. But Mr. Tillmouse was a resourceful person. She nibbled a hole in the bottom corner of the sack. The little rabbits were pulled out and pinched to wake them. Their parents stuffed the empty sacks with 3 rotten vegetable marrows and an old blacking brush and 2 decayed turnips. Then they all hid under a bush and watched for Mr. McGregor. Mr. McGregor came back and picked up the sack and carried it off. He carried it hanging down as if it were rather heavy. The Flopsy Bunnies followed at a safe distance. They watched him go into his house, and then they crept up to the window to listen. Mr. McGregor threw down the sack on the stone floor in a way that would have been extremely painful to the Flopsy Bunnies if they had happened to have been inside it. They could hear him drag his chair on the flags and chuckle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little rabbits, said Mr. McGregor. Eh? What's that? What have they been spoiling now? Inquired Mr. McGregor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little fat rabbits, repeated Mr. McGregor, counting on his fingers. 1, 2, 3. Don't you be silly. What do you mean, you silly old man? In the sack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, replied Mr. McGregor. The youngest Flopsy Bunny got upon the windowsill. Mrs. McGregor took hold of the sack and felt it. She said she could feel 6, but they must be old rabbits, because they were so hard and all different shapes. Not fit to eat, but the skins will do fine to line my old cloak. Line your old cloak? Shouted Miss McGregor. I shall sell them and buy myself baccy. Baccy? I don't know. Rabbit tobacco. I shall skin them and cut off their heads. Mr. McGregor untied the sack and put her hand inside. When she felt the vegetables, she became very angry. She said that Mr. McGregor had done it on purpose. And Mr. McGregor was very angry too. One of the rotten marrows came flying through the kitchen window and hit the youngest Flopsy Bunny. It was rather hurt. Then Benjamin and Flopsy thought that it was time to go home. So Mr. McGregor did not get his tobacco, and Mrs. McGregor did not get her rabbit skins. But next Christmas, Thomasina Tittlemouse got a present of enough rabbit wool to make herself a cloak and a hood, and a handsome muff, and a pair of warm mittens. And that was that.
Wow.
That was a very nice story, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. So there were oh god, oh wow, yep. Gearius goes with the rim shot again. I guess they escaped by a hair's width. With
Yeah. Nice.
yes. Also,
Eat another rabbit.
Pharaoh's came with a good one that Mr. McGregor seems to be the inspiration for Gargamel.
Mm.
And Brom, of course, was defending the fox. The dog ate the duck's eggs. They are evil. You don't know if the fox is, but innocent until proven guilty, I say.
Yeah, well, are you telling me because you couldn't argue with that logic?
No, I'm just telling you. I mean,
Ah,
I think he's a bit biased,
but can you?
but yeah, it sounds like a fox thing to do.
Fels is still not convinced. So, Fels, that means you're the dog's lawyer.
The devil's advocate. Yeah, Geary said the fox played the long game, the dog were opportunistic, neither is evil.
No,
yeah,
just how it goes in the animal world.
I mean, the fox was playing a very good long game, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, the pups were bad.
Oh, the story.
Just went blank.
Yeah, I will fix it. Now it's better.
Jay may sleep on the couch next if he keeps talking about foxes like that. Ah! Ah.
Ah.
I can talk about foxes like that. I do that when else is in the stream as well.
Yeah, especially then.
Yeah, that makes it fun.
Mm-hmm.
The dog stole the eggs from the fox? Were they the fox's eggs? Were they?
Well, they weren't the fox's eggs at all. And the fox wasn't stolen from because he did not steal the eggs or claim them his. He just offered the goose a place, or the duck a place to hatch them, and so that's just friendliness. He has not done any taking.
It's a interesting one. Let's keep it at that. I mean, I on one hand I would say,
I would compare it to a hotel. If a crime is committed in the hotel and not by the owner of the hotel, even though maybe it seems like the hotel owner was going to take part in that same crime but didn't, then you cannot blame the hotel owner for a crime having happened in his place. He just offered a room.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, there was some implied madness, and I wouldn't even call the fox evil there.
No crime had happened yet.
Yeah, yet.
So, if a crime, you can't be guilty of a crime that didn't happen yet.
True. Well, you can't be innocent until proven guilty, right?
Yeah. Well, he was definitely not guilty. But did he have bad intent? Probably, but you cannot go to jail for having bad intent.
It's a good thing, otherwise I probably would have been in jail already.
Mm-hmm.
Several times.
So, Bram, I hope you're proud of me.
I think he is.
Yeah.
And Syndicate says, yeah, we all would be in jail, Jay. Trust me. Yeah. See? And then Brom is he's continuing this. The
Yeah.
fox committed no crime. The dog ate the eggs. I don't.
Yeah.
Even if the fox did kill the duck or the goose or the feathered thing and ate the eggs, I wouldn't even call it a crime because that's how nature works there.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a crime. It would just be cruel.
No, I wouldn't even call it evil.
No, it's not evil. It's just cruel. That's just how it works.
I do not have any part of the Foxtober books other than editing and filming along
Cheering
with
people on.
yeah, and cheering people on. That's not. No.
Well, we could paste a link to the video of what Jay did about the book.
Yeah, not. I did not even film the video alone. We did that with Wise One as well.
Yeah.
So no, I don't. But it's not exactly something in my wheelhouse, furry, and you know that. I'm not a writer. I'm not an illustrator. I did make 2 pictures in the book. Or one. I think I made. I think I actually made a photo that's in the book.
Yeah. Let's see.
Nope. I didn't write in the book. I didn't. Nope. No. Nothing. Foxtober 3 is all Rinci else. Or else in Rinci, however way you want to play that.
Let's see. Here. To whoever hadn't seen it yet, the link to the video that Jay made as a contribution to Foxtober 3. And indeed, he did not do it alone, but he was the one who did most of the editing. Or even all of the editing, right? He
No,
did all of that.
the sound editing was Wise One as well because he's the sound guy.
Yeah.
And I just put everything together and.
Yeah, sound editing was done by Wise One.
Yeah, well, it's a Foxtober 3. It's not Fox and Coffee.
Well, says the collie had the best intent. Yeah, the collie did, but the collie failed.
Still debating this.
Yeah, we should make it a crime show.
Who was the murderer in this case? Well, yeah, the dog. Yeah.
But then again, they didn't care about the frog being eaten by the trout. Almost.
I mean, this is what I think. This is this is nature, people. Come on, it's not inherently evil. It's not like they were trying to murder things because cruelty, right?
No, but actually, there is a lot of murder and murder attempts in this children's book.
Yeah, well, I don't mind that.
No, but you know, that's the stuff they did like 100 years ago. That was no biggie. And nowadays, if you write the same things, they're like, "Oh, you're so extreme."
New time on Fox and Coffee with Elfmajor. The story in a noir setting.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool.
Nice. You can request it. And Bramstein Vos says, I guess that collie has the best intent, but he hangs out with the wrong dogs. Yeah. They say if you sleep with dogs, you wake up with fleas. That's what it means is the same thing as the English expression of you what is it called again? Who you hang out with, you get contaminated with. What's the
Yeah, the
saying? Probably
nature,
someone will know and fill me in.
nature nurture thing.
No, 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 not
Oh,
at all. No, it's more that um, when you are in the wrong company, people might influence you to do the wrong things.
oh, if you sleep with a dog, you will get his fleas.
Yeah, that was the first one.
And
You
curious,
from
just
if you sleep with dogs, you wake up with fleas. But the second one, who you spend time who you spend time with, you get contaminated with. I don't know. There is an English expression for that.
and curious wants another rim shot. There you go, buddy.
Hmm.
I've been looking at several streams, but
Barking up the wrong tree.
I'm thinking about actually going back to seeing as we're already at the end of the stream. These
Mm-hmm.
1.5 hours went by quick. Then again, raid in between helps. I'm thinking of actually visiting another stream we visited lately.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I mean we
Tell me.
could go back to Phil, but we already saw him last week, so.
We did.
So I'm thinking actually going back to Hyelicat. I think we raided her the first or second time we did story time, so a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
Or
We've
do you
rated
want
her
to?
twice.
Oh, we raided her twice already?
Yeah, we did.
Then it's not. Find a new one. Let's see. Who are we going to raid? There's someone playing a game, so that's not
But
exactly. Hmm?
I'm fine with rating her a second time if she's making something nice right now. She is very cute
She's
and fun.
drawing her August challenge. Hi, Alleycat. Also good. Hi, Alleycat.
Mhm.
I'm just calling it as I see it. Yeah, I think we're gonna rate her for a bit. It's fun.
Yeah, and you want to. I know you do. So
I really like her streams.
yeah, so that's why we're going to rate her.
Yeah, I also like Phil's stream, but as I said, we did that last week. Okay,
All right.
well, Sunday will be a regular Foxes and Coffee stream where Els will be doing her awesome doodle time again, and we'll be talking about stuffy things. So,
Yes. All right.
thank you for attending, people, and see you next Sunday.
See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Rating 3,
Rating. Rate. Get your
2,
rate calls.
1.
Thank you for being lovely. Bye.
Rating. Bye bye. Still rating. I don't see the rate yet.
Oh, I do. Should I?
Wait. Yeah.
Right now.
Why doesn't it want to rate when I do this?